So obviously when we're thinking about these workspaces that are going to really energise and bring the best out of our talent and everything, but not leave them in shreds at the end of the day, we're thinking about hard and soft things. So we're thinking about the building, obviously, and how it's constructed, but there's things that you're going to do in the building that also help. So what we've thought about very hard is food, for instance, because people work long hours, a bit like Google and other people, Twitter, you know, I think you're hearing from people like that today. You know, food is really key, especially if you're working. Nutritious food is really key. So there's breakfast, there's lunch, there's onwards, there's bars, there's snacks, there's great coffee machines that are free. The food isn't all free, but it is subsidised. And that's really important, that people feel that they can actually be themselves, be healthy, and have energy to carry on working. The hard stuff is producing an environment that really has great flow to it, so that people can talk to people and not just email. And worlds can collide, because the best ideas in business come from when you put two different ideas together. You get the third bigger idea. So very much shaping an environment where collaboration and collision, if you like, happens very naturally. The other thing to think about is how we sit now. We don't sit in a formal front room, or we don't sit at a formal desk anymore with a kind of wall or anything. So it's a very open environment, partly driven from the fact that most of us have moved away from hierarchical sort of workplaces to much more democratic, community-based workplaces. And that's reflected really in the hardscaping, if you like, of the building, that it's more open, it's more accessible. But coming back to the point, there is still places to go to do your work when you need to think, which is incredibly important if you're involved in any sort of creative production, because it's very difficult to have a creative idea in 15 minutes when someone's leaving you alone. You need longer than that. You need the brain to be able to relax and get into whatever you're working on. And I think that's the bit that you need to really think hard about to stop it being exhausting. Otherwise, it is exhausting. There's a great TED talk about, is work the place that work gets done? And even David Ogilvy, who set up Ogilvy many years ago, actually always said, I'm going home to work. And that was the 1950s. So it's not a new thing. People need to be able to concentrate somewhere sensible.